Hey everyone, I'm Basanta from Smart Tech Guide. In this video, I'm going to talk about antitrust law or antitrust bill. Recently, Congress is being working on one of the antitrust bill against top tech giant Google and Microsoft, Google and Amazon and some other giants. This is about the Google search. But before going to that point, we need some insight on the antitrust law. What is it, why it's necessary, and what are the major antitrust movement in the past, and then we'll come to this point. Let's look at the background, what is it and why it's necessary, that kind of stuff. In United States, antitrust law is anywhere, not only in United States, but I'm referring to the United States. It's basically a collection of government and federal government as well as state government laws that regulates the conduct of the business and organization, business corporation, generally to promote the competitions that benefits the consumer or the users. And not try to carteling, price fixing and all those things. Why it's necessary? Most often business try to benefit their own product, try to cartel, try to fix the price, and they try to control and hold their power to stay on the business. Even they try to control some other sector, then they are not in business with the inbuilt framework they have, that kind of stuff. Because of that, antitrust laws are very important, and it's necessary to control that kind of monopoly and predatory acts. It applies to all sorts of business, including but not limited to a tech industry, oil industry, marketing, distribution, transportation, manufacturing, everything. Every kind of business can be a victim or target of the antitrust law. The first antitrust movement was in 1890. There was 1890 Sherman Antitrust Act. That is the first framework for antitrust law in United States, and that sets the guideline for the other movements. And there are so many antitrust law since then, but this is the primary framework, and that deals about monopoly of the business. And this video I was trying to talk about the latest antitrust laws against tech giants, but for that I need some of the background. Few antitrust lawsuits against big giants. United States versus Microsoft Corporation, that initiated in 1998. It was basically Microsoft is trying to use their own product, and they are kind of not exposing their own software, and they are not allowing Internet Explorer to be uninstalled for the third-party OEM. That means they are trying to force Internet Explorer to the third-party OEM as well if they use Microsoft, and some other programming like Java and those things they are trying to force, even if the third-party OEM doesn't want that, and that benefits Microsoft itself. So that was the major movement on the tech industry back in 1998, and it was passed by DC Circuit Court on 2001, and it's the main precedent for the antitrust law. And Facebook has similar antitrust law a couple of years back regarding the data it collects from users and how it uses. It's not clear, and it even sells the data. We already heard about the Cambridge Analytics from the Facebook. It exposed a lot of users data, that kind of stuff, and there was one lawsuit against Facebook. Similarly, there were couple of antitrust movement against Apple, Amazon, and Google. For Apple, it's trying to convolute its app store so that it benefits for their own product or the applications, and limit or the restrict third-party developers. And there were a couple others about app store and ebook, price fixing, that kind of things. For Amazon, there was a kind of it's using of cloud and huge amount of marketing to say and selling the data and benefit itself by using the data from the third party. Amazon first try to see the behavior of the users from the third party sellers, and then try to sell a little bit lesser price by itself, and that benefits Amazon. That kind of things. And Google had one antitrust movement before from the federal government about practice of tying its own search behavior and one platform browser to its to the Android. And similarly, at&t got one of the antitrust law, basically antitrust bill that was passed, and the merger of the at&t and T-Mobile was blocked by that because of DOJ decision to confirm that antitrust movement. DOJ stands for Department of Justice, and that is how at&t and T-Mobile merger break up, and it didn't go well because that was the intention for reducing the competition and trying to increase the monopoly on the carrier marketing. Antitrust bill. Not all the antitrust bill end up in antitrust law or even in the court. Once filed by member of Congress or member of House, Senate, depending on where it's being judged, the Judiciary Committee decides whether it's a real issue or not. If the Judiciary Committee decides, then they have to call the company being sued about the things, and then company try to defense, and if it resolved, then resolved with some kind of deals. If not, then it will go to the court, and court will handle all the rest of the things. And if it is decided that really an antitrust moment and its success, then it may be a law or at least a precedent for the future, so that it can be utilized and it can be referred in future antitrust laws. Congress recently introduced one bill against the tech giants. This was more focused on the Google search. Congress has a lot of sitting antitrust bills. Some of them are against these tech giants, including Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and so many more, all the Silicon Valley tech giants. And this monopoly is this is about the tech monopolies, whether unfairly privileging their own product to benefit their own business model. Senator Amy Klobuchar the dropped out presidential candidate of 2020 filed a bill about this on Senate Judiciary Committee. This is about tech giants, including but not limited to Google and Amazon. The claim is that these giants are building their monopolies to help their own products within and outside of their current business area. Much of the hearing was focused on Google search, claiming that Google is biasing on the search. It's showing the result of its own sources in the first lines and pushing the third-party source into the later pages, and that's a bias. And another claim is that it's building its own framework to business its market on the other sector, like Google was not not in the market about Google Shopping. That's similar to Amazon Prime service. It launched couple years back, but earlier it was not there, and it built up the model, all the search and everything. Even now, if you search for some Google thing, products on the Google, it will show you on the Google Shopping, like even if it's available in other market like Amazon or Best Buy or anything, it still shows on the Google Shopping on the top of the list, even if it's the brand new shopping portal, and it may not have its own store. It will use the third-party store, but still as a mid vendor, it still works as a works like that, and it tries to benefit its model. That's the claim, that Google is kind of making its own framework to benefit its own product or marketing model. So this is antitrust bill about the tech giant, not only about the Google, but most of the talk was focused on Google search and Google's business model that benefits its own product. It may apply for Amazon, or it may apply for Facebook, Apple, and anything. That's all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe and share my channel and videos, like my Facebook page, and don't forget to click on the bell icon next to subscribe button to get notified of my future videos. If you haven't watched my previous videos, go ahead and watch. Feel free to comment if you like to know something or have feedback for me. Until next video, have a good time. Bye bye.